Thanks for tuning into The Reason We Learn. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit the button to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I make new content. Um, this will be a quick one. It's back to school time, and I'm a tutor. And already, thankfully, I suppose, I'm getting requests for tutoring. And one of the requests came from a student in an AP US history course. This course prepares students to take the advanced placement test designed by the college board. And if they pass it, if they get a high enough score, they will get college credit. In addition, they get a grade on their high school transcript. So the student definitely wants to learn the material to do well on the test, but they also need to get a decent grade in the course. And it is supposed to be a college level course in terms of rigor and degree of difficulty and all of that. um, that is why they would get the credit if they pass the test. I took this course in high school. It was quite different back in the 80s, but I took it. I got my score on the test and I placed out of the lower level American history courses. um, so when I was booked for this session, I asked the parent what would she like help with? And I was told it was the period 1491 to 1607, which essentially is your pre-colonization and Columbian exchange period, for those who are not familiar. And she also wanted help with writing what are called um, long essay questions, LEQs. They call them LEQs. So I met with my student today and I said, "How can I help?" And this is what she told me. She said, "The problem is we have a sub this year." And I'm thinking, for what? A month? 2 months? A week? A day? Nope, just a sub. Teacher went on maternity leave, not expected to come back. This is a very expensive private school, by the way, one of the best in the state. I'm not gonna name where, don't wanna go there. It's not really relevant. I've heard the story too damn many times. And I hear all these people saying, "I can't wait to get vouchers to send my kids to private school." Okay, well, let me tell you a story about one of the very best private schools in this particular state. It's Nevada, if you're wondering, but I'm not gonna tell you the name of the school. Anyway, they have a sub. I'm thinking, okay, that's not automatically bad. The sub has told the students she doesn't know the material. She didn't study the material. She is not a teacher, has never been a teacher. She's busy getting her PhD in something to do with, I think it's political science or something. Suspicious already. And she apparently spends most of class time talking to the students about her personal life, which is apparently very stressful. Very stressful. She explains that she's delayed in getting things graded because she's not getting a lot of sleep because of her PhD work. And so she's running on caffeine. She's running on fumes and caffeine, and she's sharing this with her students. In addition, she is not writing any of the prompts for the essays that they're practicing with. She has not given them a rubric of any kind. She has not explained to them how one should write an LEQ. And for the AP, there are very specific things that you need to know about writing the essay. There are specific guidelines, there are specific types of essay questions. Uh, I'm just a tutor and I know this. And even if I didn't know it, I could perform as I did because I wanted to go grab some downloads and things to give her to use for herself. It's a quick Google search, parents. You could do it too. Um, they have a textbook, but the teacher doesn't go over what they read, just assigns the reading, but doesn't ever discuss it with the class. Just hands out multiple choice quizzes and talks about her personal life for the entire class. Now, they've only been in school for a week, but so far that's what they've done for the week. When you're an AP, one thing you need to know about it is there's a ton of material to go through, even though you have the entire school year, what with, different kinds of exams and different kinds of breaks and different kinds of holidays and so on. It takes all of that year to go through it well. well enough that the students understand it and you can have a high pass rate for your class, which you would think the school would want to have. Apparently not. Nobody seems to care. By the way, last year she had a sub for her entire year for ELA, private school again. We're paying big time tuition for this. So essentially, I spent the session showing her how to use Khan Academy, which is not my favorite by any means. I look at the material and cringe, but at least I know it is absolutely 100% mapped to the test because they work with the college board to develop it, to develop the curriculum. So I know it's gonna, if you do well in that, you will be prepared to take the test, essays notwithstanding. I showed her this was out there. Even the teacher could use this, by the way. If the teacher were that lost and that I'm a sub and I have no time and I don't know what I'm doing, I certainly would disclose that to the students. But I just go ahead and avail myself of Khan Academy. There's a whole teacher dashboard. Teachers do it. I don't necessarily recommend it if you otherwise can teach and you're not a sub running on caffeine while you're working on your PhD. But if you are, that'd be at least better than standing around talking about your personal life and not teaching the class. So I'm showing her how to go do that and how to take her, you know, MCQ quizzes and all that, multiple choice questions. Um, and I said, this is what you're going to do. You're going to have to teach yourself this course. And then I'll help you with learning how to write the essays. That's the best way to use my time. But I wanted to share this with y'all because, as I said, I know there are a lot of bills that are getting voted for, school choice, vouchers, private school. Got to get my kid in the private school. That's going to solve my problem. Everything's going to be better. Your child will likely be more physically safe. It will be a self-selected group of people who are unlikely to be complete miscreants. Won't have fights breaking out every day, things like that. But if you genuinely believe the academics are going to be better, let me just suggest to you that may not be true. You're going to need to do a lot more due diligence when you choose your school. Some private schools are wonderful, but even within wonderful private schools, you'll have a wonderful teacher and this lady, this substitute. I'm assuming there are other good teachers there. I hope, I certainly hope. But is your child going to win that lottery? Is somebody going to go on maternity leave and leave your kid without a teacher at all for the whole year or mid-year or whenever when they're busy trying to get college credit? So what to do? What to do, Deb? Well, you heard me. I think homeschooling is preferable to all of this. If you do send your child to private school, you better know that you're getting your money's worth, whether it's a voucher or not. You still need to know that it really is worth it and worth their time. This kid she's told me, she said, I'm an anxious mess. She said, I have so much anxiety. I feel like my grade is already down. She had her first multiple choice quiz and she's never gotten below an A in her life because she studies really hard. And she received it back with supposedly 12 wrong. She asked, can I see I don't think I answered these wrong. So now she has to go through a whole process of asking to see that the right boxes were checked and the person graded it properly. And that's because the teacher's saying, well, I'm just so tired. I don't know. I mean, maybe it could be wrong. I wish I were exaggerating. This is direct from the student to me. But your child may not come to you. For example, the parent who hired me just knew that her daughter wanted some help. Said, I need some help with writing the LEQs. Not any of this. I didn't know any of this until the student told me. So students sometimes tell their tutors things they don't often tell their parents. In fact, I would even suggest to you, if you're curious to find out what's going on in your child's classroom, middle school or above, go get a tutor. I have a sneaking suspicion you'll find out more than you would otherwise find out. Yeah, we find out. We find stuff out. They tend to open up to us about the academics. That's what we're there for. I'm not talking to her about her feelings, although she did divulge how anxious she was. I didn't ask that, obviously. So you need to find that out. The other thing I would suggest is consider dual enrollment at your local community college to get college credit guaranteed for the effort your child's going to put in, even if they end up with a mediocre teacher. They will get the credit if they complete the course and they pass. And it's free while you're in high school, and your school will recognize that as high school credit as well. That's why it's called dual enrollment. So look into that. So you're not paying extra money. Your kid's not a stress mess. You're not counting on a teacher to teach it properly so they can go pass a test, maybe. Right? They're going to get the credit no matter what. So just another option. I do realize that having AP all over your transcript is so very important for high status. But that's there's a price to be paid. So if she manages to get a good grade in this class and keep her GPA up, maybe that status will matter. But if this teacher makes it so hard for her to do that and she doesn't pass the test, was it worth it? You decide. I'm going to try to help her, obviously. And she's one of the lucky ones who decided very early on, I got to go get help. Likewise, if you have a student right now who is in AP in English or history, don't wait. Check in on them right away. Make sure that their teacher has given them, I would say, their own little website. The teacher should have, if they teach AP, they should have this down. They should have their own little website, their own set of rubrics for how to do an essay. There's some guidelines, what the different kinds of essays are, et cetera, and so forth. And if they don't have anything and they haven't distributed anything to the student and they're not teaching them how to take notes and how to outline 4 essay types as they go through the material, they're not teaching the class. And I could fill a book with stories, testimonials from parents who discovered in February or March that their student in an AP class, and this is true of science too, I just don't happen to tutor those. I just heard it, from other people. They just find out at the 11th hour that they're 5 chapters behind. The kid doesn't know anything. They need to quickly sign up for a prep class for the test. And I hate to break it to you, but even with the prep class, they're probably not going to get the grade they need on the test. And guess what? They're getting maybe a B. So their GPA is like, it's not being helped by it either. It's just going to show up in the transcript as, oh, I took AP, whatever, and I got a B in it. But that's a shame. It's theft, in my opinion, of their time, of their energy, their peace of mind, and their opportunity to do something good for their learning, to really learn how to study at the college level before they go to college. So get that tutor early. Doesn't have to be me, although, by all means, you can hire me. But don't wait. Check in on them. Make sure the teacher's rock solid. And if they're not, you know where to find me. I do this online every day. All right. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Share this with somebody you know who has a high school student. I promise you, there'll be somebody somewhere for whom this is news. Okay. Take it easy, guys.